Welcome to V-drumtips. Impact noise is one of the biggest problems related to electronic drums. The kick pad causes low frequency noise that travels through the floor to your downstairs neighbor. You cannot hear it, but others are disturbed by it. One solution to isolate your kick drum from the ground is to build a noise isolation platform. These platforms use tennis balls or a special foam to isolate vibration. However, not everyone has the time and the skills to build such a platform. An alternative is the purchase of the Roland NE10 or NE1 Noise Eaters. The Roland NE10 is a massive 54 by 21 cm rubber board, coated with carpet and equipped with 12 isolation bumps. It contains an aluminium board as a core that gives it stability. The board is big enough to host a kick pedal and a small kick trigger, like the Roland KD9. It can be used for hi-hat stands too. The NE1 is a rubber cylinder with only one knob that functions as a damper for a rubber-covered metal plate. These cylinders are used in combination with the NE10 to support bass drum and hi-hat stand legs. Both the NE10 and the NE1 have a height of only 3 cm, so they're actually really flat. A standard e-drum configuration requires 2 NE10 and 5 NE1, as most hi-hat stands to have 3 legs. My DW9500 has only 2 legs and does only need 2 NE1. The more hi-hat legs, the more stability you get. This stand is wobbling slightly, but it is not disturbing. A normal bass drum needs only 2 NE1 for the legs and 1 NE10 board. The KD120 needs 4 NE1, because of the 4 legs. The KD9 does only require the board itself. The movement of my bass drum is not disturbing. It is notable, but it does not influence my play. If you have a double pedal setup, you can place the slave pedal next to the hi-hat pedal, on top of the hi-hat board. This is a low budget way and only possible if your hi-hat and your slave kick pedal is not too big. The kick pedal influences the hi-hat stand and it causes it to wobble. The overhang of the slave pedal is also not the best practice. The proper way to set up a double bass configuration is the use of 3 NE10 boards. This way the hi-hat stand is isolated from the slave pedal and they do not interfere with each other. The right hi-hat leg is placed on top of the NE10 board of the slave pedal. There is still a minimum interference this way. The best practice configuration is this setup. 3 NE10 and 2 NE1 for each the hi-hat and the bass drum. The hi-hat stand is entirely separated from the double pedal. This is of course the most expensive, but also most effective setup. However, the 3-board configuration causes a little problem. There's almost no space for the snare stand. Therefore I decided to stick to configuration 3 and place the hi-hat stand on top of the slave pedal board and on only a single NE1. This setup works good enough for me. It is not the best practice though. It is really hard to show the effect of the noise eaters. The seismometer apps are not a great indicator and the impact noise cannot be properly recorded. The way to test the functionality is actually to hold your ear against the floor in another room and let someone else play the kick drum with and without noise eaters. But there is no point in showing this in a video, so you have to take my word for it. Roland promises a noise reduction of 75%, and I can confirm that this is more or less the case. The Roland Noise Eaters are really expensive. A setup like this costs €400, but they are really simple and highly effective. They do also have a lot of advantages to a DIY noise isolation board, as they are small, flat, transportable, and they can be stored easily. The Noise Eaters are also a great solution for people who are not into DIY and rather like to buy a finished product. They also protect the floor, as your pedals will not touch or scratch it. A drum rack is not necessary. The Noise Eaters might cost you a lot, but you can keep them forever, and you will only spend this money once. It is not like a module, where you see a new generation every 5 years. They will not break and they work with almost every e-drum setup. For me, a happy neighbor and the freedom to play drums without being concerned about disturbing others is actually worth €400. A Roland KD9 is still causing a lot of noise, even when placed on an NE10. If you have consistent trouble with neighbors and flatmates, you should consider a Roland KT10. It is not a real pedal, but the feeling is not that bad. And most of all, it is quiet. Also, use quiet solutions like the DrumTech soft beater and mesh heads like the Chubecki 3-ply mesh head, in case you have a mesh bass drum. I'm even using the Noise Eaters in combination with my seismometer platform, as I want to be 100% sure to not disturb anyone. But the Noise Eaters by itself should do a great job too. That's it for this video. Find the links for all products I have mentioned in the video description. If you are interested in the Noise Eaters, you can support my channel by buying them through clicking my Amazon affiliate links in the video description. The price will stay the same for you and I get a small share from Amazon. Thanks for watching and see you next time.